So, want to bring you a quick and important interview technique that you can easily employ into all of your interviews. And it might be something you're already doing. If it's not, I'd recommend doing a little bit more of it or incorporating it if you're not doing it. And that's giving the candidate the option to ask a lot of questions. What that does is it gets at what the candidate's prime motivators are, what's driving them, based on the type of questions that they're asking you. So if they're asking a lot about salary, you know that money and salary is a big motivator for them. If they're asking a lot about culture, then you know that that's a big motivator for them. And so based on the amount of questions they're asking and what type of questions, you can determine, is that person going to be a good fit for my organization, this particular position. The second thing it does is you want to look at the volume of questions that they're asking. Are they asking a lot of questions or just a little amount? If they're asking a lot of questions, that correlates with their passion and interest in the position. And that typically will translate to the person is going to bring a lot more to the position, is going to be more passionate about what they're doing. Versus if they ask very little questions during the interview process, that typically is a bad sign that the person's really not that either engaged in the position, they're not engaged in their career, or they just don't really strive to be excellent at anything. So those are the two things: is it tells their motivators and it tells their drive and their passion, and those two pieces. The best times to ask, do you have any questions for me, is at the end of the first phone interview and at the beginning of all the face-to-face interviews. Instead of starting the interviews, the face-to-face interviews with questions to them, start it off, what questions do you have for me? And let those come out. Tell me more, any other questions, any other, to try to get out all the questions so you can determine the volume and you can determine all their motivators and does it match with your organization in this position.